What's going on YouTube? This is SG1 Sports and you're watching our SEC football channel. We're giving you some predictions here for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and we're going to show you our predictions, our NCAA football simulation predictions, the FBI Athlon, and also see what the over-under win total from Las Vegas is for this Mississippi State team. And before we get into the predictions, let's go ahead and show you the schedule. Here it is. And it's a pretty tough schedule. You got Auburn on the road, you got Texas A&M on the road, but they do have some big games at home with LSU and Alabama both at home, Kentucky at home as well. If they are a good home team this year, they're probably going to have a pretty good year. But if they can't beat LSU and Alabama at home and they lose some games on the road, you know, next thing you know, it could be a pretty rough year. So it's kind of tough to figure out exactly what this team's going to look like with the losses that they had on defense. What will the offense look with Fitzgerald gone at quarterback? Of course, you got Tommy Stevens coming over from Penn State, Keaton Thompson, who's already been there. I think it's going to be a pretty good offense. Defensively, I think they'll take a little bit of a step back. I thought this was the best defense in the SEC last year. I think they're going to be more back towards the middle of the pack this year. Some pretty good linebackers in there and some decent players in the secondary. Pretty good players in the secondary as well. But we'll see what happens. So let's compare our 5 sources here. Again, this is what we're going to be looking at, and we've been doing this for all the teams. And you can go to our main channel if you want to see our predictions for this team, where I go much more in depth. I break down each game on the schedule. Just look there on the main channel for our Mississippi State predictions. But I do have them going 7-5. To me, there are just too many tough games on that schedule. Maybe they could do a little bit better, but it's a pretty tough schedule. You got that Auburn game on the road, Tennessee on the road. They're going to be improved this year. Texas A&M on the road, and Alabama and LSU. That right there would be 5 losses. I think they might actually pull off an upset against LSU, and then maybe they lose somewhere else. Maybe they're upset by a team like Arkansas potentially. So that's just kind of the way I see it playing out. But yeah, I got this team at 7-5. How about our NCAA football simulation? Not as high on Mississippi State, just 6-6 according to that simulation. Which is a little bit lower than most people are going to have this team. Had them losing to Kentucky, Auburn, LSU, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Alabama. So the 5 teams that I mentioned a second ago, actually no, they would beat Tennessee in the simulation, lose to Kentucky. Kentucky would be the team that they would lose to. And then I mentioned Arkansas earlier. I think Arkansas is a prime suspect for a team that could upset Mississippi State this year. Where it is on the schedule, the game being on the road, that is going to be, I think, a sneaky game for Mississippi State. So they better watch out for Arkansas. I think the Razorbacks are going to play them pretty tough. But yeah, our simulation had them at 6-6. They were competitive in most of those games, but just didn't win them. So 6-6 there. How about Athlon Sports? What did they say about Mississippi State? They've got them at 7-5. So Athlon does agree with me. They think this team will win 3 games in the SEC. They think they will beat Kansas State in the non-conference, which is what I had in there as well. It's just a team that's kind of tough to figure out. Joe Moorhead's there. Did he have success because of the players that Dan Mullen recruited, or was it him as a head coach? There's just a lot of question marks there as you try to figure out this team. They have them finishing number 5 in the SEC behind Auburn, actually tied with Auburn at number 4. But I guess they've got Auburn winning the head-to-head matchup. So that will be the tiebreaker there. So they do have Mississippi State really exactly the same as me, 7-5, 3-5 in the SEC. So no surprise there. I agree with Athlon Sports on this one, or maybe they agree with me because I think I came out with my predictions first. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, let's now go look at the FPI. A little higher on this team. They've got Mississippi State at 8-4, despite the fact that they're underdogs in 5 games according to the FBI. They're underdogs against Auburn, Tennessee, LSU, Texas A&M, and Alabama. Those are 5 games that they're underdogs in. But they're pretty heavy favorites in the rest of their games. Even Arkansas, they're at 78%, 75% against Ole Miss. So the FBI thinks that they're going to get one of those games, whoever it may be. They think they'll win one of those matchups. Tennessee would be their best chance, according to that FBI. But we did a complete breakdown on the FBI on this channel. If you want to go back and watch that, we show you the percentages for every game, the percentages for each team to win the SEC, go undefeated, all of that. So be sure and check that out if you want to get more on the FBI. But what about Vegas? The over-under win total is 8. Yes, 8 for Mississippi State. I was very surprised when I saw this. I thought it would be 7 or 7.5, but to see that number at 8, it starts to make you think maybe Mississippi State's going to be better than I'm thinking this year, because 8's a pretty high number there. That means they think most likely they're going to get 9 or 7 wins if they don't go 8-4. And if you're betting on Mississippi State, I don't see how you could bet on 9-3. I just don't see that happening. So, 7-5, it seems like that will be a good bet, but I really don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. If they go 8-4, it'd be a push. So, I think if I was going to make a bet on this team, I would go 7 with under definitely for them, because I just don't see 9-3. I mean, with Alabama and LSU on the schedule and some of those tough road games, don't see that happening. But we'll see what happens. Again, maybe Vegas knows something that we don't. Maybe they could surprise everyone and go 9-3 this year. I want to know what you guys think about Mississippi State. Give me your predictions down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more here on our SEC football channel.